So I'm going to ask you folks to do a little work today in something called Cami. I'm going to ask you to open a new tab, and just to double check that you have it installed, you're going to go to the Chrome Web Store. Now, if you don't have that open, you can actually just type in Chrome Web Store, and it'll come up as an extension um, in your browser. So I'm going to type in Cami, Kami, like somebody's name. And when I do that, over here on the right, if I have not installed it, it'll say Add to Chrome. So I want you to click Add to Chrome so that gets installed. Now, this is going to work in the background of your assignments. So you're going to go after you've done that, and if you want to pause me while you install that, that's no problem. So we're going to go today to an assignment, and it's titled Close Read Assignment in Class. I'm actually going to give you some class time to do it. For those of you who used Cami last year, Cami is kind of cool. Cami is a piece of software that you can use to mark up text, and I can see you marking text. Now, one of the great things about marking text, we've been talking a lot about this idea, and especially last year, we were talking about, what do you do when text is too hard, too long, or just plain too boring? And what you folks came up with as we talked about that in small groups and large groups, and we talked about complex text, and we had all kinds of pieces of text that we played with last year. One of the things that we talked about is that what do? You read it closely, you take notes, you ask questions, you engage with the text and interact with the text. And that's how you trick your brain into, into thinking about it a little bit differently. So with that in mind, before we get into our essential question for this year, over here on the right, let's finish up with this idea of what do I do when text is too hard, too long, too boring, too hard. We are going to just do an assessment to see where you are with text marking. All right, so this is an actual assessment, not a pre-assessment, because all year last year we worked on this. Now, if you're brand new to me and you've never marked text before, then I will totally take that into consideration for you. Okay, so how do you do this? Well, let's just practice on the directions up front here. So we have some things that we can do. What's kind of cool is if I click here on dictionary, let's say I don't know the word adjective. So I can click on dictionary and click on the word adjective, and it tells me, oh my gosh, what it is. This is the coolest feature. So if there's something in the poem that you don't know what it is, you can definitely click on it. And like, I don't know what a patron is. Oh, look at that. It's somebody who plays to play or pays to go see something or watch something, like a patron of a at a theater, patron at a baseball game. Okay, that's the dictionary. You can also do text to speech where it'll read it out loud to you if you'd like. Now, the markup is the part that I like. I can go through and choose my pen colors, and I can click on words that I think are important. I can also strike through things or cross them off. I can also do a comment. So a comment over here would be just making a little note. So notice it's over here on the side that an adjective describes a noun. We just saw that. So if I said a noun is a dog, let's see, I'll check my dictionary here so you guys can see that working. Okay, so a word that names an attribute of a noun, such as sweet, red, or technical. So if I said a dog was a noun, a word to describe the dog, like the sweet dog, the spotted dog. Okay, the energetic dog. Okay, so I'm going to go over now, and I can also do a text box. So the nice thing about text boxes is you can change your font size and also the color of the text box. So if I want to ask a question around the text, um, let's see, Cami has you do a close read of the poem. So when are we doing the first read? I'm so glad you asked, because we're actually going to do the first read together. Let me make that text a little bit darker. It's kind of hard to read if it's that light. Okay, I'm going to click here, and I think I can do, up here I have some tools too. So I think I can go up here and I can make it darker. Let's see if that works. So it's probably it's a lot like Google when you get into it and actually see your toolbar up here above. So there we go. So I can do that. I can also do drawings on here. So if there's something that I wanted to circle, so it asked me to mark lines that are descriptive. So I might mark them like this. Okay, and I can also draw shapes around things. So I could choose a color, and then if I chose to do a shape here, oh, I can do a shape. Okay, so it's kind of cool. If you want to erase something, you just click on it and you erase it. Like I made too many, way too many shapes going on over here. Okay, okay. Oh, try erasing it. It's not erasing it. Drawings and shapes. There we go. I have to read the directions there. Come on, erase it. There you go. Erase it. Okay, you have to click and kind of move up on it a little bit. All right, so that's a little bit about how you use the software. I think the two that you'll probably use the most are the comments and the markups and the text boxes. So with that in mind, I'm going to ask you, as we're going to read through the poem Casey at the Bat together, and you're going to kind of watch it as you go through the first time. And of course, during a first read, you're going to just note things that you're curious about or things you don't understand. Maybe make a couple quick comments. And then I'm going to turn you loose to do a close read. So this is 50 lines of poetry, and I'm going to have you read through it on your own. And after you read through it on your own, you're going to go in and you're going to mark all these things that are here. So you're going to mark any lines that you see as descriptive, where you can actually see the picture of what was happening in the poem. You're going to write a few questions, and we always talk about how many. Maybe 1 to 2, maybe 3 questions total. You're going to mark some places in the poem where you can really see what's going on. You're going to choose one adjective that best describes Casey. And if you don't know what adjectives are, you can Google samples of that. And then you're going to find some parts of the poem that supports the one you think best describes Casey and mark it. And so for this, I would suggest that you do a color. So for instance, I'm going to grab markup. I'm going to grab a color that's pretty bright so I can see it. And then I'm going to take the word adjective and I'm going to mark it in that color. Okay, so I just go right over the top of it. Okay, where's my mark? Okay, now wherever I go in the poem, I'm going to try to find a word that I'm going to use to describe Casey. Make sure it's an adjective, so double check that if you're not sure. And maybe I'll type that word right over here in this space. And then I'm going to go through the poem and find all the places that really show the text that shows that. Does that kind of make sense? Okay, so have some fun with it. It's going to look like you went crazy with the highlighter. And when you're done, because I'm going to score you on how well you mark this text and follow these set of directions. Now, here's the great part. When you're done, all you have to do is hit submit. It's right here. It's just a little blue button. And I think I'm in student view, so it's not going to work. But it says submit right there. And then it's going to submit it right to me in Canvas. It's kind of cool how it's all embedded. Okay, so the first thing we did was we went up to the Chrome Web Store, we installed Kami, we came into Canvas, we went to assignments, and then we clicked on the close read assignment in class. All right, I'm going to be going through this in class, but of course, if you watch this video, you can pause it and stop it if it's confusing and kind of follow the directions again. All right, thanks, y'all.